Hey friends, it's Brittany at Ink and Papyrus. Thanks so much for joining me today. Let's get right to it. Okay, I'm going to convince you today why you need an idea book, and we are going to use an old recycle box to set one up together. So I'm going to break open a couple of journals, and I'm going to convince you as to why you need an idea book. You know, some people may call it an idea book, some people may call it an art journal, but either way, it is a spectacular book meant to be a mishmash of ideas and techniques you'd like to try out. A lot of techniques and projects you may go back to and think, oh my gosh, how did I do this? Sometimes you revisit your journals for inspiration and think, oh, I love how I did this flip up with these digital images and extra paper for journaling room on top of digital images and stamped it. Or you may be looking back and thinking, wow, I love this envelope. How did I do this? And when you do that, sometimes it's nice to not only have a big sort of almost dictionary-like book with all of these different techniques, but it's also a place to journal maybe some instructions, how you did something. Obviously, some things don't need explanation. These paper envelopes, for example, maybe in my idea book, I'll include some of them, include a template, which has to be a very specific size, the specific size that I used to score this envelope and make this altered paper clip, and just write exactly how I scored it and how, you know, where the folds were. So even though it's a simple concept, there are some precise measurements you need to know to make these, and maybe I only made a few, and then what if I sell a journal and then I don't have any examples left and I don't remember how to make them. So this is why you need an idea book, and today we're going to make one. By the way, if you want a link to that altered envelope paperclip tutorial, I will put that above and link it in the description box below. Yeah, I'm actually, as we stand here and talk, I'm really enjoying going through this beach themed, I'm such a beach person, this beautiful beach themed journal, and I think we should do a flip through soon. But in the meantime, let's get working on our idea book. You know, the other thing I love about an idea book, by the way, is it gives you a total pass to try new techniques and flub them, mess them up, and try them again, and not feel pressured that, oh my gosh, this is a journal I have to make and keep to this specific theme, or this has to be perfect, I'm doing a swap or selling it to somebody. No, you can just relax and try new, fun, adventurous things in your idea book, and if it doesn't work, oh well, you can rip the page out, or you can just keep trying and trying and trying again until it becomes something that you love. So we are starting with this recycled box. These are a couple of things that I wanted to talk to you about before we get started. So first of all, I suggest making something large. In my idea book, I'm going to have papers of varying sizes because I think certain projects lend themselves to different size pages. Okay, you don't want to be pressured to make a project larger than you would like because you only have a big page, and you don't want to have to shrivel something down if, you know, your page isn't large enough. So I am going to use this large box, and yes, I know this looks huge. I plan on this being the spine. I think I'm going to be doing a lot of different projects and be putting in a lot of different embellishments that I make as examples, and I can see this bulking up really quickly. It doesn't have to be this size. This is the size I'm going to be using. By the way, it doesn't have to be a recycled box. You could use a smash book that's already bound. You could use a huge book. It's totally up to you. I'm just using a box because I think this is the perfect size for what I want my idea book to be. Okay, so once you have your front, back cover, and your spine, go ahead and grab something to decorate the cover with. I can tell you that from my idea book, I think I want to do something very special with the cover and actually try a new technique, which is the point of an idea book, right? But I'm not ready to go full on and do that just yet. So I'm just going to use some very bland paper and reinforce my cover. And I'm sticking with bland because that leaves me with plenty of options. I can cover it in fabric later if I want. I can decorate it with pretty much anything I want. I can lay new cardstock down. I can collage. I can basically do whatever I want. So that's why I'm going with some bland paper. Don't worry, this book is going to be anything but bland. Okay, we're just reinforcing is all we're doing. And making a base layer to kind of get rid of all this writing. Okay, now I have the front and the back covered just with this bland paper. I am going to bind the spine to the cover. Okay, I'm just going to be doing this with my Scotch packing tape. I told you guys Tyvek tape is definitely my favorite, but mine grew legs and I keep forgetting to order a new one. I will probably remember during the middle of the next video when I tell you the sad story of how I lost my Tyvek tape. Anyways, if you aren't planning on doing anything else with your cover, you probably will want to bind this together and then put your paper over, right, to cover up the tape. But I'm doing a whole lot of stuff TBD with this cover, so it doesn't matter to me. This is all going to be covered in the end. All right, space about 1/4 of an inch, and we're going to do the same on this side. We're going to put 1/4 of an inch between the front cover and the spine. Okay. And you don't need to measure the tape. You just want it longer than this. And we're going to do this several times for stability's sake. No worries. We're going to flip that. I am loving the idea of a art book, art journal slash ideal journal. And this was actually one of my New Year's resolutions, and I have not forgotten about them. If you want to see the video where I tell you all about my crafting resolutions for 2024, I will link that video above and in the description box. I am sticking to those resolutions, holding firm. That's why I'm being pressured into making this video and creating my idea journal for 2024. Okay, so we're going to do the exact same thing on this side. Make sure you leave yourself about 1/4 of an inch, and then we will have a structured book. Okay friends, I may have gone a bit overboard. Look at this spine. This is crazy. This is gonna probably be an idea book for 2024, 25, 26, 27, 28. I'm excited. This is gonna be a huge challenge to fill, and this is gonna contain plenty of ideas and projects. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, there's a little bit of wrinkling here on the tape. That's fine. I'm probably going to, since it's going to be such a big book, once I decorate the cover, I'm going to reinforce the spine here with some fabric, most likely. I just want to put a piece of tape over this. I think I'm actually going to make this an exposed spine. So we're going to cover the front and the back individually. I'm just going to make you want to make sure this hinges well and that you don't have any paper overlying this part here. If you were to reinforce this spine with fabric, which I will probably end up doing at some point, you will want the fabric to overlie the spine and cover your tape. Okay, right now I'm just covering this ugly cardboard. I'm not really reinforcing the spine. So I'm just gonna make a mark where the cardboard ends. Okay, we want to make sure that we're not interfering with the ability of the book to open and close. So I'm making a mark here, then making a mark here at the bottom. Okay, I'm going to cut this down, glue this together, and I'll be right back. Okay, the front and the back of the spine is lined with paper, and now I'm just going to cover up this unsightly tape and give the spine a little bit more stability by wrapping some fabric around. You want this to obviously not only cover your tape, but extend a little bit longer on each side so that you're really reinforcing the tape and the stability of the spine. I'm finishing up here with the second or front or back cover. I'm not sure which one, but the other one. I usually lay down some glue. If you're worried about bleed through, definitely use a silicone glue, and you don't want to necessarily apply the glue directly to the fabric. You kind of want to smoosh it around. I'm going to be altering the heck out of this cover, so I don't really care if there's a little bit of bleed through. So I actually am going to put it directly on the fabric, because then I know I have glue covering everything and it's not going to peel up on me. This is a pretty thick box. Otherwise, I would say, you know, go right on ahead and sew it. You may be able to get away with it, but this is such a thick box. I'm just using the gluage here. Plus, I don't know if I want sewing on my cover yet. I'm not sure the theme or the style. So we're just gonna glue all of it. So this is not meant to be a DIY book tutorial. You'll notice I'm skipping a lot of steps here in terms of, I didn't show you guys how I altered the box. I didn't really show you how I bound the spine together. So I'm skipping a lot. If you want to see a full tutorial on really how to make a journal from scratch, I will link some of the journals I've made in the past below. Really, I just want to focus today on putting together a bare bones book that is going to become an idea book. We're not using the fanciest techniques. This isn't going to be some grandiose, actually it's going to be grand, just in a different way, but it's not going to be a like perfect technique, pristine journal in terms of binding together the cover. This is really meant to be kind of a bare bones cover, focus on the actual concept of putting together an idea book. And eventually I think I am going to want to do something really spectacular with this cover, because it is an idea book after all. It seems only right that we would use a new technique to decorate the cover. That's just not going to be the focus in today's tutorial. Today I just wanted to convince you as to why you needed an idea book, and I want to show you the technique for binding an idea book together, give you a relative idea as to what size you may want to use, and the composition of different papers that I think would be perfect for an idea book. Regardless, I am going to be making 3 holes, and I am going to have several signatures bound into this book. Like I showed you earlier, this is going to be an exposed spine, so I've already started punching holes. And yeah, we're going to come up with a new way of binding pages today, I think. Something creative, something feasible, so that we don't have to necessarily fold pages in half if we don't want. So I want you to just make 3 holes, line them up, and I want you to repeat this several times for as many signatures as you would like. So I have punched several signatures, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to be exact. The spine is huge. I'm wondering what I've gotten myself into, to be honest. Now I'm just sorting my paper into piles. I am using mostly plain, kind of neutral colored papers because I sort of want a clean base, but feel free to do, you know, whatever you would like. If you want to use some papers that are already dyed or already have some kind of background to them, feel free to do that as well. I will show you coming up next how we are going to bind these puppies together and how to create a template to make it very easy to do so. So I started binding these pages together kind of using the Coptic stitch method, and then realized that I just didn't like the way the pages hinged in the book, that I was going to want pages of different sizes, and that I basically wanted to alter some of the pages to flip out, and this just wasn't going to be the preferred binding method. So after going through all of this, I decided to just revert back to a good old 3-hole pamphlet stitch method, and I'm glad I did. Okay, so complete total change in plans as usual. Sometimes, I don't know, I start a project and it just evolves into something else. So I have decided that the best way to put together an idea book is to have differing sizes of papers. I think depending on what project or what I'm doing inside, I will probably want pages of differing size. So that being said, I am abandoning the complete all full-size page idea and just going to binding in pages of different sizes using the 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So what you'll see me doing right now is altering some of these pages. Like I had said, I do want pages of different sizes, and this journal, this is the size that I wanted my idea journal to be. However, it is really hard to find pages that are this long. Even construction paper and the 12 by 12 pages only fold out to be yay big without trimming. So what I'm doing is I'm taking pages that are like each other, for example this cardstock, and I just put a thin layer of glue here and attached it, and so now this is going to be a fold out. Okay, and it fits perfectly. So when I go to bind this in, I'm going to bind it in like this into the spine. I did decide just to go ahead and do the bind these in using a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and look, it fits absolutely perfectly. So some of these pages I want to keep short, depending on obviously the project that I'm going to be doing, but it is really nice to get some of these long pages in here. So I'm just going to continue to do that. I got some construction paper that I like hardly ever use, so I'm glad to be able to use up some of these random papers. Careful with construction paper. I found that unfortunately even just regular like glue stick tends to discolor it, so you want to, after you glue it down, slap it down exactly right on top of where the glue is. But this is cool. I really like this. I can't believe I didn't think to do this earlier. This makes so much more sense than having pages that absolutely do not fit. And what if we put in a page that, if we put this in, it might be cool. Just pages of different colors, same size. Yes. Okay, very cool. Ooh, I'm very excited. I have all of these grand ideas and projects for what I want to do with my idea book, and I've never had like an art journal. I really like doing mixed media layouts, but I'm hesitant to do it in my journals that I'm making because that's not the typical. I have some mixed media layouts in there that's not the typical page layout though, and so sometimes it's intimidating to want to try new techniques but not want to quote unquote ruin the journal, you know. So to have a separate journal like I was talking about earlier, that to me that's the best reason to have an idea book, is not just saving, oh that's gonna look great, not just saving and being able to go back to, you know, embellishments and things that maybe you had to use more technique to make, and being able to reference back. It's very helpful for that, but more than anything it just gives you a pass to play around and be goofy, be silly, and mess up. So, okay, I mean, I have a general idea of what I want. I don't know, maybe these don't exactly go together, but I don't know, maybe that's the charm in it, you know? Maybe that's how we're gonna put this in, because it looks a little kooky and it really does stand out with the red. I don't know. Maybe we'll put it in like this. Maybe. I do like the black and the green together. Okay, let's go for it. I'm gonna have to decide how many pages I want in each of these signatures. I feel like this is gonna be, the spine is so out of control and so wide. I mean, I'm sure it'll fill fast, but that's gonna be, yeah, I'm gonna end up putting a heck of a lot of pages in here. I can tell you that right now. So I'm going to shuffle around with this. Again, I didn't want this to be a full process video. I kind of just wanted to kind of show you guys the steps I'm going about to create this idea book, why I think you and everyone should have an idea book, and then just going through the basic steps with you. I'm sure most of you guys know how to make a book by now. So this, guys, is a finished idea book. I know this looks absolutely insane, and this is without a doubt the most pages I've ever bound into any kind of book. As you can see, the cover is totally ugly. That's fine. I have grand plans for the cover. Today I just wanted to be about the concept of actually making an idea book. Here you'll see I have a ton of room in between the first signature and the last signature to allow this journal to bulk up. Since this is going to be an idea book, I'm going to be putting in a variety of embellishments that I want to remember that I made and remember how to make them. So it's going to be an art journal as well, trying out different techniques. As you'll see, I altered a lot of these pages. As I was showing you before, I did a lot of folding. Firstly, this is like a really wide journal. But I also, some of these are just normal 8x11 size pages folded in half. Some of these are big flip out pages. I just didn't want to limit myself in terms of the projects that I could do. I didn't want to be limited by page size. Now, obviously, as you can see, this is a very, very thick journal. It may get too bulky with all of the things I'm going to add and with all of these pages being folded over in half, in which case what I'll just start doing is continue to add things as I had planned and then cut off. For example, this is folded over on itself and actually has two folds on it, but what I would do is just start hacking some of the pages off just like this, and then essentially cut the bulk in the journal by half, so that way I have plenty of pages that I can fold open if I'm working on a project where I need all the space, and then otherwise I can hack off the folded over pages if I start running low on space. So this was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 signature journal. And in a future video, I want to work with you guys, and as you can see, I had grand plans for using a different scheme of binding the pages in. And then when I was going through and just realizing that I wanted a variety of pages folded in different ways, I kind of went back to my tried and true 3 pamphlet stitch method of binding. So in a future video, I'm definitely going to be working on this cover, doing something hopefully spectacular with it, exploring some new techniques, and we will break open this journal and just get to doing whatever we want to do in it. So I hope to fulfill the intended true purpose of this, was just being able to explore different techniques, try some new things out, and not be pressured for things to be perfect because it was in a journal where I wanted to, I was confined to a specific theme, or I felt like, it had to be perfect, so I didn't want to try anything new and ruin it. So that's the purpose of this journal. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you are working on an idea book of your own. I think we all should have one. So that being said, I can't wait to see you the next time.